Okay, so you just won a gold medal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Walk us through a little bit, like, sort of the buildup of the Olympics and ultimately getting to win that event.
Yeah, it's been obviously a shorter cycle this year. The last Olympics ended up happening in 21, so we didn't really have the usual 4-year gap. So I feel like for me anyway, I was pretty back into training a month or so after the Tokyo Games, with the goal of Paris being the last Olympics for our weight class. So in rowing, there's a lightweight weight class and a open weight class. So we have to weigh 70 kilos before 2 hours before every race. They're actually getting rid of that class now after Paris. So we knew that this was going to be the final Olympic Games for this weight class.
What is that in pounds? 154. Okay. And what is your normal, like, walking weight, if you weren't trying to be under a certain
Yeah,
number?
I would say I'm not sure in pounds, but
In kilos.
yeah, maybe 76, 77.
So that's probably like 15 pounds more. So what you're normally like 167
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and you cut to 154
yeah,
2 hours before every
yeah,
race.
yeah.
I mean, that adds like a whole 'nother dynamic to this competition.
Yeah, it's a different sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because the weigh-in is 2 hours before, it's not like you can go to extreme, like, dehydration,
Yeah,
measures.
what wrestlers do and
Yeah,
fighters
yeah,
do, they'll do all these dehydration stuff,
yeah.
and then the day of the fight, they weigh 20 pounds
Yeah,
more.
yeah, because their weigh-in's really early, right?
Yeah,
But,
their weigh-in's like 24 hours before the fight.
yeah, yeah, so for us, like, we still do use some of those techniques, but we just need to be really careful because it is so close to the race.
And how often were the races in Paris?
Every second day.
So
Yeah.
every second day. So what was your routine for training and eating?
When you're coming into a regatta, obviously, you're kinda tapering, so there's not, we don't have the usual 5 or 6 hours of training a day to do, so you can get away with a bit less food. The way you have to manage it is it's totally different to a training day because you're trying to fuel around the training and also eat foods that are gonna, not sit in your stomach. So, the less fiber, the better, really. So it's
Yeah.
all a lot of, kind of plain rice and that kind of stuff just to get the carbs in.
Plain rice, what else?
Yeah, Powerades. Yeah,
Powerades.
I love a frozen Powerade before the race, get the core temp down. The window of 2 hours, it's a funny one because not only do you have to rehydrate whatever you've lost in the sweat down and then some to reach, actual hydration, and then you have to also get energy on board, right? And then take all your supplements that you're gonna take for racing. We're big, sodium bicarb users. We're big on nitrates and all caffeine, all that kind of stuff. So it's really hard to actually get that comfortably done within the 2-hour period.
It's intense.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, in a sense, the race starts 3 hours before the
yeah.
race.
So you have to actually train your body to be able to cope with that and to be able to ingest, that amount of fluid and that amount
So you would
of
practice
carbohydrate.
that.
Yeah, yeah, big time.
And what kind of caffeine would you take?
It depends, usually, some gels.
Okay.
Yeah, some gels, maybe a tab. Some people have coffee, but I'm not a big coffee drinker, so I just like to get it straight in.
And then the number of races that you had to do to get to the final?
Yeah, 2.
2.
Yeah, which is, sometimes we have 4, but because of the way the Olympics work, there's 16 boats actually qualify for the Olympics. So we'll go through a heat to get us into the semi-final. But sometimes if you don't make it directly from the heat, you have another chance to make the semi-final, which is called a repechage.
Okay.
But we managed to avoid that one.
'Cause you did really well in the
Yeah, because we won the heat. So, the thing about that is, though, you'll have an extra race and an extra weigh-in if you don't go to the semi straight from the heat. So it's actually a lot more important for us to make the semifinals straight away than it might be for an open weight crew because you're putting an extra toll on your body by sweating down again
Oh,
and
totally.
racing again.
Is it fair to say most of the winners of this division often go straight through?
Yeah, yeah. The bronze medalists from Greece actually went through the repechage,
Oh.
which was um, which was pretty unusual. Usually, yeah, it's the less races, the better.
You've been on Whoop for a while,
Mm,
and you shared your data between July 20th and August 5th, which is when you obviously competing. I mean, your data looks really good. I mean, it looks like the tapering
yeah,
worked. You know,
yeah,
your resting heart rate was in the low 40s. You got a recovery score on average that's in the 70s. HRV 122, which is a high HRV. Sleep performance 95%, so you're getting a lot of sleep.
yeah.
Your sleep efficiency is very high, 90%, so that means you're getting a lot of REM sleep and slow wave sleep while you're in bed.
Mm,
And then, you know, you were 50% green recoveries, 50% yellow, and you had no reds.
yeah.
So you must have felt pretty good about that. Now, would you look at your data throughout this period?
Yeah, yeah, in the lead up, always, yeah, and, I have done since, I think 2019 is my first year on Whoop. So, just after my first World Championships, I kind of made the decision to, go all in for Tokyo. So I got on, and then, you guys reached out to me, I think, after the Olympics in Tokyo, because I wore the bicep strap. So yeah, I've been pretty big Whoop user since then. So looking at the data during training is really important for me. Maybe during racing, I wouldn't look at it till the evening because at that point, you
It's
can't do
already
much about
happened.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it just gives an indication of how well I'm dealing with the training and how sleep's going and all that kind of stuff. And we can adjust sessions then depending on how I'm feeling, and also not just from like the recovery scores or what Whoop is saying. We work a lot with the physiologist to just go into like the raw data side of things and look at the resting heart rate trends and HRV trends. And sometimes it's actually when I'm recovering not so well in terms of Whoop, but if there's a certain trend with my HRV that, the training load is high, but I'm doing my body's working hard to recover from it.
Yeah.
So, we do a lot of looking at that, and then we'll sit down kind of before the week is over to decide what we need to switch for the next week. And then after those big sessions, we have maybe 2 or 3 sort of key sessions during the week where we'll, um, we'll really push the intensity, and then all the other ones will kinda be about managing, that low intensity stuff until the next big one comes around.
Well, you actually are highlighting an important phenomenon I think that's somewhat misunderstood at times about Whoop and recovery, which is if you're in a sport where you're training to be like the pinnacle of fitness, when you're in that training phase, you actually do wanna go through periods where your body's run down.
Yeah,
Like, because in a sense, that's the indicator that you're putting as much strain on your body as you can.
yeah,
And you don't wanna overtrain to a point where your recovery won't come back even when you stop exercising. But you may wanna see some yellow and some red recoveries. Like, if you were only in the green during a training period, it'd almost be a sign that you were not putting enough strain on your body
yeah,
during your workouts.
yeah, for sure, and it's just about managing it so that you can get to a day where you need to really go hard on a green and then
Yeah,
survive the next few on a
right.
on a yellow.
It's like crush yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but obviously it's easy to go too far, but that's why having something like Whoop is important for me anyway, because we tread that line very, very finely, and it has gone too far in the past.